Let's go back out to downtown Uvalde and go back to Henry Ramos. I know he's standing by live right now with State Senator Roland Gutierrez. Henry, go ahead.
Thanks so much, Phil. You said it exactly right, the senator joining me now, and I think what both of us were just saying, Senator, I mean, it's kind of even hard to think, honestly. You know, it's been a long few days. I mean, just kind of give me where you're at right now.
You know, Henry, it's been really emotionally draining. You're just on a roller coaster. But I don't even think about myself when I see the families. I made it a point to give them a little bit of space for a few days. The last 48 hours I've been meeting more of them, and I'll continue doing that. I want to assure them that they have the adequate state resources, make sure that we find more resources for them. No one should feel like they're in need for anything. I want them to know that we're here for them and we're in here for the long haul. I've asked Greg Abbott to give us $2 million for this community, the community health clinic, so that we can bring long-term mental health care. There is only one psychiatrist in Uvalde. That is the problem of rural Texas. We need licensed social workers here rather than doing teletherapy, which is incredibly difficult. Therapy is a little bit different than telemedicine. You really need to have that personal touch. And so this is just the beginning. Our families here that are affected are on a roller coaster ride of their own, 1,000 times what you and I are going through.
Sure.
But I'm not going to leave, and we're going to make sure that we keep doing what we need to do for our constituents.
And with that, I mean, you've been pretty vocal. You want the governor to call a special session, correct?
That's right.
Tell us a little bit about that, and will that happen? Are we realistic that that could happen?
Well, listen, I'm going to keep yelling. I'm going to keep demanding it. People are demanding change, Democrats and Republicans. How is it that an 18-year-old can walk into a store down the street, buy 2 automatic rifles in 3 different days, 1,800 rounds of ammunition, and no one stops to say anything? It needs to be raised to 21. We need to have waiting periods. We need to have red flag laws. There's about 3 things that most of people agree on. And so therefore, if most Democrats and Republicans agree on them, then why aren't we doing them? And it only comes down to one thing, and that's the NRA, gun manufacturers, and their money that they're giving to the Republican Party. If Greg Abbott wants to go lobby for them, if he wants to be an advocate for them, that's on him. But the people of Texas are sick and tired of this. He's had 8 massacres under his watch. Enough is enough.
Enough is enough. Is there, you think with this, I mean, you were saying Republicans and Democrats, is there bipartisan support for this?
There's bipartisan support in the constituency, in the voters. It's the folks in Austin, the Republicans in Austin, that don't want to move a bit because they'd rather advocate for the NRA than advocate for their constituents that want common sense gun laws. Look, I'm a gun owner, but this is ridiculous. These weapons in the hands of 18-year-olds makes 0 sense, and we have to create some change there. I've had 2 Republicans, one in the House, one in the Senate, already call for a special session. That has never happened before. You've got colleagues that are calling me. They're anonymous at this point. They don't want me to say who they are, but they're telling me, well, maybe the 21 thing makes sense. Well, of course it makes sense. Of course it makes sense. We've got work to do. Greg Abbott wants to blow us off. He wants to blow us off. We need to go back in 2-3 weeks, uncover what went on over here, and make sure that we have adequate and substantial change on our gun laws. Well, let's create gun laws because we have none. Every time we go back in that building every other year, all they do is create more accessibility to guns instead of less.
I do want to ask you really quickly, Senator, if I can, just about the accountability aspect in terms of the response of police. I mean, you had the DPS commissioner saying it was a mistake. Who should be held accountable here?
Everyone. Greg Abbott should be held accountable. The police should be held accountable, but not just the low-level police officer at the school district. Every one of them, there was 4 different agencies that waited. At what point does the next agency with higher firepower not take operational control? I talked to Colonel McGraw yesterday. He cried to me on the phone. I cried to him. This is devastating for us all, I get it, but people made mistakes, and to point the finger at the school district police and say they're the ones that messed up, no, it's bigger than that. It's bigger than that.
Senator, I appreciate your time, sir. Thank you so much. And I know that you're going to continue to meet with the families, and obviously, as we've seen, the outpouring love and support will continue here. And of course, a lot of eyes on you as well, and on the politicians, because I think people clearly want action. Hopefully that. Thank you for your time. Phil and Alicia, back to you.